What's up, everybody? Jonathan Rose, owner, Masters in Trading. We've been looking a lot at unusual option activity. Look at this one. HCC, Warrior Met Coal. Yesterday, 16,000 calls trade. 16,000? That's a monstrous order. In this video, what I'm going to do is I want to show the importance of this order. I want to prove to you why all traders need to know about unusual option activity. When I was a market maker on the floor of the Chicago Board Option Exchange, the only thing we would use to value options is unusual option activity. So let's talk about the order a little bit. The next thing I'm going to show you exactly how I found this order. And then finally, the last thing, what can we do? What's actionable about this order? Let's get into it. So let's start right here. This Saturday, 11 o'clock Eastern, I'm holding a presentation on our new unusual options activity tool. You can register. There's a link in the video description below. Join us. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay, 16,000 options trade. Now, let's say that you're short this company, HCC. If somebody comes in and buys 16,000 calls, that's probably something that you want to know about, right? Is that fair to say? How about this? This order was traded for $1.30 and $1.40. So let's do a little bit of math. 16,000 times $1.30. This order cost $2.092 million to put on. That's how big this order is, guys. This is a $2 million order. Now, if you're like me, you probably haven't heard of HCC. I've never heard of HCC. I've been trading for 23 years. If somebody all of a sudden puts a $2 million bet on a small company, it's got an $800 million market cap, the options really don't trade very much, isn't that something that you would need to know about? I, for one, wouldn't be able to trade this without following that kind of size. How big is the trade? Well, now we know it's a $2 million order, right? How big is the trade? Well, right now the stock's at $15.79. Let's say that the stock rallies and gets up to 22. Lots and lots of time. When the stock is at 22, whoever's long those calls, they're long the equivalent of 1.6 million shares of stock. So once this order is in the money, they're long 1.6 million shares of stock. Again, how can you possibly trade this without knowing that information? Furthermore, today, this darn stock's only traded 180,000 shares. So what happens if this person wants to get out of their order? I'll tell you what, the only way they're possibly going to do it is they have to come back into the options market, because the underlying stock market, no freaking way can that absorb the 1.6 million shares. Next, I want to take you to a 1-minute chart of yesterday's trading action. So today is Tuesday, which is today, and this is yesterday. This order was done at the end of the day. It was done about local time for me, 2:45. I'm in the central time, about 15 minutes before the close. Now you can see, as soon as that order was done, the market of the stock went from 1550 all the way up to 1623. Eventually it sold off, but nevertheless, the darn thing rallied 5% just based on that order alone. Now, because the market rallied, Therefore, we can make the assumption that this order was buying calls, because when the customer came in and spent $2 million to perhaps get long 1.6 million shares of stock, they were getting long. They were getting long stock. They have a long bias. And you buy back deltas by buying back stock. When you buy back stock and they all chase and all do it together, the stock runs up. So in my opinion, this order, for one, was a monstrous, nasty, crazy order. One of the bigger orders that I've seen. I'm pretty sure that they were buying those upside calls and they were buying stock. Let me show you how I found the order. This is our new Wall Street wiretapper. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, if you feel like you're getting value from this video, I would really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, if you were to subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment. Let me know as well. I literally make these to try to add value for you. So in front of you, this is our new unusual options activity tool. That's what we're going to hold a webinar on this Saturday. Now what I did is I was just searching through volume. I checked this thing every single day. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to see what the biggest orders have been recently. So what I did is I just searched by date. And when I went and searched by date, I just went and searched, hey, last week. And I wanted to search till today. Search. See what it came up with. A lot of results, 976 results. But as I was messing around, what I really wanted to see is, I want to see what was the biggest order? What was the most influential order? So we have our volume right here. Volume today versus 20-day volume is right here. Calls as a percentage of today's volume, calls as a percentage of the 20-day average volume. This is what I searched under because I wanted to see what kind of order was just so out of place with normal behavior. And what popped up first? HCC. Volume 16,000 on only average volume of 200. That got me looking. What's going on with this thing? There was no put volume at all. Everything was call volume. Out of 976 names, this one stood out as the biggest outlier, the biggest order relative to what average volume orders had been. So it doesn't automatically just make it a trade, but then as I dig deeper in it, then I started to think about the sector, coal, election. Hey, somebody's got a pretty good feeling about coal going forward for the next 164 days. Kind of interesting. But what really stood out is when you see unusual options activity like this, especially relative to super small volume like this, there's a reason why people are doing things. This person trying to put an order of $2 million isn't looking to do it in a small stock. They just happen to have a feel or an idea and the stock happens to be small. They're going to put it on. I'm guessing that this wasn't what they wanted to do. I'm guessing this is as much as the market could handle, or this is as much as when they called a broker to put the order on, that's the most that they'd be able to fill. This guy probably called up and said, I have a massive amount of size that I want to do to go through HCC. I'm looking to buy the April 20s, 164 days until expiration. Can you find me some sellers? I'm a buyer. I have size. What kind of volume can you give me on buying size? He comes in with 16,000, a $2 million order. Again, if this stock starts to go up, watch out. This dude's long 1.6 million shares up here. It's good to know about. Okay? Hopefully it helps. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see many of you on the webinar this Saturday.